exactly what you guys wanted me to tackle. Leapfrogging off of the conversation last night. Obviously, within the last 24 hours, he actually made bond. Additionally, over $400,000 has been raised for his defense, his legal defense. So let me give you all a little bit of updates on what's going on with Mr. Anthony. I know the real Carmelo Anthony with a C, the basketball player. I know he like, man, why his parents name him after me? I know that the real Carmelo Anthony is a little bit bothered and upset. Like, man, what I got to do with this? Why my name in it? Because anytime you put Carmelo Anthony into Google, obviously his is now being knocked down to the second. And this Carmelo Anthony is going up to the first because this is the thing that everybody is talking about. Anyways, let's deep dive into it, y'all.
Next, it has dropped to $250,000. Well, our colleague, Fox News multimedia reporter Sarah Allegre was inside the courtroom as this all went down. She joins me from Frisco, Texas, outside the courtroom live. And Sarah, thanks so much for being with us here. This story has garnered a lot of national attention. What more do we need to know?
Absolutely. And it's that national attention. It's played a big role when we're talking about the security and the safety of all parties, really, in this case. And that was something mentioned today. And you could see it, too, here just outside the Collin County Courthouse, inside the courtroom as well. There was a heightened security presence, additional law enforcement, at least more than usual. The judge even made it known that she had received several threatening phone calls ahead of the hearing and hasn't been under this kind of pressure, really, or seen a case reach this public scale in her 13 years of being on the bench. Another key thing that stood out a little bit earlier today was who took the witness stand. We did hear from Carmelo Anthony's father, the suspect in this case, and we got more of an idea of his son's character. He talked about Carmelo Anthony being a straight-A student, the captain of the football and track teams, and a church regular. Now, the defense says all that matters when it comes to bond. Also, that Anthony's not a flight risk and has strong community ties.
Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Carmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
I don't have a problem with him being released out on bond so that he ultimately can prepare for and have a relative normal life until trial. Bond is not supposed to be a weapon against the people, right? He does not need to be held in jail. Bond is supposed to be for, or it's assessed based off of your flight risk, based off of your ability to actually appear in court, all of that. So, I don't have any problem with him being able to get bond because it is a tool, right? So now that you have this bond, it is the possibility of you showing up to court. It's a greater possibility of showing up to court because you don't want to lose your bond, right? And so I don't have no problem with that. If they drop the bond down to $250,000, which I believe he probably had to pay 10%, I don't know if they required him to pay 100% of it. I know that in most cases you had to pay 10% of your bond. I'm not really that big of a jailbird, so I don't know anything about that. But I don't see any problem with him going home for bond. He doesn't seem like he's a flight risk. He doesn't live or exist in an environment where his parents is not going to ensure that, they get the best representation and he attends court and stuff like that. So I don't know why people are so bent out of shape at the fact that he got bond. He still has to stand trial. He still has to face the consequences of his actions, whether he's guilty or innocent. That remains to be seen. But bond is not that big of an issue. And why are people so mad that he had to meet bond conditions, that he was able to get out of jail, and now they can prepare for his trial? Because I do believe that everybody deserves to go through the process of innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And that's what he has to face. Now, I personally don't believe that he's going to go scot-free. However, I do not have a problem with them giving him bond and bail and then he ultimately getting out so that they can prepare for a trial. Why is people so bent out of shape of that? Anton, you is white. Well, BD, you can't talk. So you're one of the people that I had a conversation with about a couple weeks ago about your ability to read. You don't even know how your name is BD. You said Anton, you is white. It's Anton, you are white. A-R-E. And not just the letter R, A-R-E. So I'm not offended by illiterate people that can't read past the third grade level. I'm not offended at that. I think you needs to get some help. I think it's important for you to go get hooked on phonics. And I don't even think you have the ability to teach yourself how to read. I think you need a tutor. You need to re-enroll at your local church and then sit in with all of the little kids so that they can teach you your letters, your alphabet, how to count on your hands, your ABCs, and then how to enunciate your words correctly. All right. So listen, you got bigger problems to worry about whether or not you think that I'm white or not. You have bigger problems. Listen, BD, you have bigger problems on your plate. On your docket, the first thing that you got to do is you got to make sure that you brush your teeth in the morning, pray for deliverance from the devil from keeping you from being able to read, work on your stuttering, and then go and enroll in your local church. And don't worry about the kids laughing at you, big dog, because you trying to get something done. Even if the kids snicker at you and they go, look at him, look at that 40-year-old man that lives in his mother's basement still trying to learn how to read. Overcome that. Overcome that. You don't focus so much on where you at. Focus on where you going. We got to get you to the 4th grade, the 5th grade, the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and then hopefully you are a full adult, then you know how to read, and then you can fill out your applications, and then you can put the fries in the bag. Put the fries in the bag, big dog. You don't even worry about racism. That's not your fight. Your fight is on and learning the difference between there, and there. There, and there. But that's 8th, 9th grade level. We got to get you to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade level. So don't worry about that. All right. At least if you're going to insult me, learn how to communicate effectively. Let's continue on with the show.
Like this.
Prosecutors argue the bond should stay at $1 million for a number of reasons. They first pointed out the severity of this case, but also pointed to that fundraiser that raised over $400,000 in legal costs for Anthony's family. But the judge disagreed here. She settled on house arrest with an ankle monitor, again that reduced bond, and a weekly phone check-in with a bailiff.
Made the call, and so what's important is what's next. Frisco PD will be finishing up their investigation. They will submit the case to my office. We will review it and ultimately present it to a grand jury. And so that's what's next.
Anthony's accused of stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet between their schools. Witnesses say the two got into a fight over seating, that Metcalf pushed Anthony, and that's when Anthony pulled a knife from his bag and stabbed him in the heart. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms, and court records say Anthony admitted to the stabbing and asked officers if this could count as self-defense. And both Karmelo Anthony's parents, along with Austin Metcalf's parents, were both inside the courtroom earlier this morning. As you can imagine, both parties, both quiet and somber. Andrew?
So he is out. He is released. His parents has not necessarily put out a statement. They're not talking to the media. Smart. I actually give them a lot of credit for that. But I want to share something with you guys really quickly because this is important for us to talk about. And I was trying to deep dive a little bit more. You can't always get the details in, just looking at whatever it is that they say on the media because they're trying to hurry up and get the content out as fast as possible. But I was looking at it and I was looking at all of the details and where all of the money was going because they raised over $400,000. Actually over $430,000 as of today to make sure that they better understand exactly how they can fund all of his legal fees and everything like that. Because I'm pretty sure that they'll be substantial. And so I pulled this up and this is exactly how it went and how the money is being spent, okay? They say the family of the teen accused of stabbing a student athlete to death at a track meet plans to shell out on a new home and security to protect the alleged murderer after he was released from jail. Carmelo Anthony walked out of jail silently, surrounded by his family on Monday, who posted his $250,000 bond after a judge agreed to lower it from $1 million. Goes on to say that he is charged with fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in the stands at a track meet on April 2nd. He is now on house arrest where he'll be required to wear an ankle monitor and stay inside of his parents' home. Over $420,000 has been donated to Anthony's family in an online fundraiser for the alleged killer after he reportedly faced racist threats following Metcalf's murder. Hey, BD, before I go into this a little bit more, are you jealous that I'm able to read the whole sentence without stuttering or getting into trouble? That I'm able to pronounce words that have more than 2 syllables? Do you know what 2 syllables are? I know people that see people that can read that's aggravated, that they can't insult them, and that they not feeling some type of way as a result of your insults. They upset when you start reading a little too fast, and then you stop mid-sentence in order to give some context, and then you can start right back off where I was and then start back reading again. It's crazy, ain't it? Yeah. Hey, all of y'all that they mad at, just remember this. The only thing you got to do is not get upset at the insults. Don't reduce yourself to throwing doo-doo. Don't reduce yourself to throwing doo-doo. What does that mean? That is something that I came up with as I was growing up, right? And I've always told myself, don't throw doo-doo. You know what that means? That's what the big old monkeys and the apes do when they get mad at people. They take a dump on the ground and they grab it from their booty and then they throw it at the other apes, or they throw it at the other monkeys, or they throw it at the tourists when they get mad at them. It's a low IQ move is what I'm saying. Don't be low IQ. Don't reduce yourself to play in the pig pen with the rest of the people in the mud. Don't throw doo-doo. That's my word for you today. No doo-doo. Just read. Just read to them. You start reading real fast, and they start getting confused, and they just walk away frustrated. Nothing is more angering to a person than to be intellectual, and they can't compete with that. Just ask them, what does that sign say up there? But always point to the sign or the street that don't have any emojis on it, or it doesn't have any images on it, so that they can't try to use their context clues to know what it don't have no colors. It don't have none of that stuff. So they can't use colors or images or icons or iconography to tell you what it is that it say. Hey, what does that say? And it don't have no shape on it. It's just a sign with words. That's how they've been getting through life. Using colors. Oh, red means stop. Green means go. Using the shape of the stop sign to know that they should stop. Combining 2 things is red and it's shaped like that. That's how they've been getting through life. Iconography. That's why when we was, when we developed these applications for these iPhones, that's why we moved from the hamburger menu up in the left-hand corner, and we start putting images at the bottom of the page so that you'll know, oh, this means home. Oh, this is explore. And then we put the words and the images together so that you can try to sound it out. Home. Home. Not homie. Home. All you got to do is read fast, and they're going to get frustrated and leave. Let's continue. During the judge's ruling on Monday, prosecutors asked Anthony's dad why he couldn't use the money, the donated money, to pay the original bond to release his son from jail. And so basically they was telling him to pay, I believe it was 10% of whatever the million is, but his lawyer argued for a lower bond so that they can pay a lower amount and then be able to allocate the money towards whatever they wanted to. And Andrew Anthony responded that the money was going to be used for his son's legal defense, So all of the GoFundMe money that is donated to them is going to be used, and they're allocating how they're going to use it. Here's how they're breaking it down. Legal defense, he also said the cash will be used for security to protect him after he reportedly received racist threats since the stabbing. And the family also plans to move into a new house for extra safety. Congratulations, y'all. Listen, there's nothing like being rewarded for a new home when your child is out there doing something that they probably not supposed to do and they getting into something that they shouldn't be getting into. Nothing like getting a new home for safety and security. So that is what the father said during the court hearing. Hey, why didn't you use the GoFundMe money in order to make sure that they made bond? Well, Judge, we didn't want to spend it on all of that. Well, what are you spending it on? Well, we want to spend it on legal defense, and we want to make sure that he gets security because he received some racist threats online. And we got to get a new house so that we can make sure that we get out the way. And we got to get a new house. That's what it says. It's highlighted right there. Andrew also said, who was the father, the family plans to move into a new house for extra safety. If it's a lie, they told it. If it's a lie, they told it. So, as usual, I'll keep you guys updated. I'll let you know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm going to keep you guys informed. Stop abusing the handicap. I'm going to keep you guys informed on what's going on in these streets. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on, listen, don't get mad at me. We'll talk about it on After Hours. We'll talk. Make sure y'all tune in to After Hours tonight. It's going to be an incredible live stream. I got some great subjects lined up, and I'm going to keep carry on point, all right?